Welcome to the second half of the video, and we're back with the McPhearson Strut vehicle. The previous vehicle. I made some adjustments, I think, to this thing. Not sure if they saved or not. Yeah, they did. The rear wishbones have a little bit more height to them, and a little bit more strength, so they are a little bit firmer, so they don't do as much bounciness. The suspension test does seem to be a little too suspension testy for our vehicle, since it is bottoming out a lot, but that's not really our issue. So we'll just drive our way back. And I do feel like we should make a cabin for these, like a actual body for these, instead of just having them be empty skeletons. So let's see what we got now. The trailing arm suspension. So it appears to be literally a trailing arm. We might also do leaf spring if I can figure that out. The rest of them are just none. We also got some monster truck suspension and rally truck suspension, which is just trailing arm suspension, but better, I think. So I'm gonna use this diagram, I think. This is probably better. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one. No, this one's better, because it has a bit more of a diagram here. So let me get out the single axle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna not have suspension here. This is the suspension piece, but we're not gonna have this because we're gonna do hinges and not suspension, since it is a little worse, I think. I'm not completely sure, but when I implement the suspension, it always just goes wrong. I don't know why. It may be my issue, an issue on my part. If you guys know how to put suspension onto my designs, then please tell me where to put it, because I am having a ton of trouble. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete all of this here. And we're gonna leave this like this in the front. Maybe change some suspension, since trailing arm I think is only for the back end. Large hinge. So we're gonna have this somewhere up here ish, like here will be fine, because what the trailing arm really is it's just like a big pipe, you know. So this big pipe here, all it has to do is just connect to things here. So like, this would have to connect to here, and then all we have to do is make this into a floor. Maybe a little bit more. And then, bam. Now I just gotta copy this to the other side. Sort of like that. But now we gotta... Oh. Turn down the speed to be 0. How about like 0.95? No. 35. Angle... Sure. Steering help none. Strength. Let's go 0.80. Dampening. Sure. Actually, dampening should be like 0.10. Strength, how about 0.95? Why are these not working? Oh, right, because I didn't put any commands into them. That's right. So I gotta figure out which way they go. I want it to go red. Or green for this side, really. Distance sensor. I use distance sensors which point downwards or into some kind of block because it's easier for me. I'm gonna make the strength 1. Why? Maybe I do need to put suspension. Maybe. Because that shouldn't just be by itself, I guess. How big of a suspension do we need? I think that's overkill. I think this will be fine. All we have to do is move this up, and then have a free I'm trying to think of how I can attach this. Can I attach this at like 0 strength? Because if I can... Oh no, can't. Zero. Unless... I don't know, I honestly don't know what I'm going for here. Because, like... I need to look at the image. Oh. Oh. Okay. Maybe I don't need this. Because the problem I'm facing here is... it's actually gonna move. Is the thing. Is actually gonna function. Because I'm not 100% sure that's just gonna move. Appears not. don't know why though. Like, does it have to be vertical? Maybe it does. Or maybe I'm missing something. Because, indeed, I could have another suspension piece right here. In which this can be zero stiffness, zero dampening to make sure that it works. Maybe I need to put more weight in the back to actually test this. I'm confused. Because they move by themselves. So, if that's gonna be that way, then I need something to counteract that movement. Right? That's my guess. So... because this is hard. You know? Maybe I do need a simple hinge instead of a double hinge. Maybe. Seems like not. Because like what I'm seeing from here is it goes up like this. Trailing, not tailing. Trailing suspension. I'll be right back when we figure out how this actually works. So, I kind of figured it out. So this needs to be downwards, like actually downwards. Maybe that's the main issue here, that's not actually downwards, so it has no actual movement to go anywhere. That's a lot of the things I've seen, is it's starting diagonally. So we're gonna go diagonally too. So... we're gonna go 3. 3. Oh, oops. this around. And then... I think it needs to be a little sharper. I think that's fine. For now. Because I need to test the difference between the suspension and the normal steering suspension. Because I don't have any... no, I do have those. Well, that's a lot better. Just need to attach some suspension onto these. So, in a Reddit post... yes, Reddit post. I saw a guy doing tutorials of suspension. I was like, oh, that's cool. He didn't say a word. But I'll be using his tactic here with a... He had double hinges, but I'm not sure... Not double hinges, but double suspension pieces, but I'm not sure they could fit here. Maybe they need to be a bit farther forward. And these need to go a little higher. So, something of this. Oh. Oops. Now they kind of work. Now these hinges needs to be trained to 0. Yay! Yay, it works. Why does it work? Tell me, please. Oh, because the bottom hinges turn. That's why. Okay. I'm not sure this does anything, to be honest. So, I guess I can turn off all the controls. These, I think, need to be a little more sturdy. Oops. Oh, right. I forgot to delete all the weights. Oopsie. Oopsie daisy. Now I'm gonna copy this to the other side and then figure out my problems from there. So I'm probably gonna go with the bigger hinges. Cause oops. Sorry about that. I have a second monitor and just dragged it over to the second monitor. Now I actually need to raise the suspension B1. Maybe one's not enough. I kind of want to make some trophy trucks now. Oh man. Yeah, the suspension's definitely not stiff enough. At all. But then again, I didn't put any suspension in the front. So. There we go. Much better. Much firmer. And I don't have a good engine again. I really love these, this dragon engine skin. It sounds a lot better than the original. Alright. It is bouncy though. Kinda want it to absorb all the energy. So it isn't as bouncy. I'm sure that's not gonna pay off. Maybe. But I kinda wanna switch the front wheels off with a different suspension kind. Probably gonna have to credit the guy for the suspension lesson. So yeah, I do have to make the rear suspension a little longer, it seems. So I'm gonna do just that. and two, and two. There we go. Much better. We're gonna go back to the right side. Oh man, it's so good looking. Hey, at least it doesn't bottom out anymore. The good thing now is that hinges don't have... I mean, the hinges have dampening now. So I don't have to worry about figuring out whether or not to add suspension or not. Because that's always been an issue. Like, adding suspension. As you can see on the wishbone one, there is no suspension. Because I didn't want to try. It was a little hard figuring that out. So this one is gonna have the trailing arm suspension, so I'm gonna call this save as trailing arm. That's right? Trailing arm. Yep. Trailing arm suspension. So yeah, we're gonna save this as that. I'm gonna show you guys the Reddit user and his post. Oh yay, what a great... This is him. This guy is the one with the lesson. This is the post. How to make trailing arm suspension for whoever wants it to be on there. So this is a suspension I used. I didn't use any of his other things, like this hinge here. I did use this arm in the suspension though, but I don't think the arm is necessary now that I look at it, because all you need is that hinge here and the hinge here, I think. Maybe you don't need it here, maybe he just needs a 1x1 block, but I think that's how it works. Important edit: make sure the left hinge under the suspension piece has LS right, left sticker right, input towards red. I forgot to show it in the video. Accelerating compresses the suspension, and turning compresses the suspension. I think it's to prevent flipping. Maybe that's why it's there. Because that would make sense. This was from 5 years ago. I think that's enough yapping about Reddit. Gonna close this. Where was I? Trailing arm is done. Now, let us try leaf spring. Leaf spring is hard. Leaf spring is difficult. Leaf spring is quote-unquote impossible. Why? Because blocks don't move. But now, I got an idea. So, you know how there's like those, like, what's it called? Can crush. Can with geometric shape. So, like, maybe I should turn it into like soda can with geometric shapes. If you saw that one trend where people kept poking things into the soda can, where they made it like a cool shape, sort of like that, where they would make it into cool looking shapes and stuff. I need to do like the crushing with the the leaf spring it's that, or I make 2 trailing arms into 1. Because... maybe. Because what I could do here is have 2 trailing arms here. Have a 1x1 tube here. Then arms here and here. All these go up. I want that to be 2 blocks. Cause like, if you can see my vision here, or maybe not, I'm not completely sure about you, but a leaf spring is supposed to compress, sort of like I was about to do it with my arms, downwards. So if this can go inwards, upwards like this, then maybe we can get something out of that. Because now I need to do it like this. Maybe we don't need that. Actually, no, we do. For reasons. That was just for looks, actually. Because I'm not entirely sure how this will actually work. Because, like, it's difficult to make things like this work. Especially with this much blocks needed. If you see my vision, maybe you don't. I'll tell you in a minute once I actually attach it. Steering help, so strength about 0 now. And so I'll connect this up here like this. So this is going to be our leaf spring. It's a little large, I know, but I mean, what am I supposed to do? Make it smaller? Maybe I should. So, I mean, it's working the way I wanted it to. That's exactly how I wanted it to go. Yeah, perfect. So, I'm gonna have to turn off and remove all the controls from these. Kind of hard to see. So, no controls. We're gonna have it at 0.85. Strength. Dampening can be at 0.10. Angle, that's fine. Perfect. But we're gonna have to up the speed. I cannot last in this. Oh dear. Oh dear. How firm is this suspension supposed to be? Oh no. Maybe that's a better choice. 1. No, 2. There we go. 2. Yeah, there we go. Much better, much better, much better. It's working. It takes quite a bit to push it down, but you can see it's working. For the most part. I know that this is supposed to work with multiple wheels. So So, let's take a look at... Let's take a look at the leaf spring. Yeah. Like that. Per axle. So it's pretty thin. I think what I could remove is these. Well, let me see. Let me check again. If they're not doing anything, I can remove them. Actually, they don't seem to be doing much, so I'll just remove them for sake of space. Because they need to be as thin as possible. And this seems to be pretty thin. But then again, we have issues here. So, these on the inside will have to be changed. Do something else. Like tube elbows. There we go. And then move all of these down. And let's see if the leaf spring works. They don't appear to be moving. Maybe I did need that block. Maybe. Maybe we did. Yeah, I think we actually do need that. Wait, what? Maybe these edge blocks don't need to be attached. Because I'm seeing things now. I'm part of the prophecy. See things. That's preventing us from going inwards, so now we're gonna go back on track. We might have an issue. Never mind. See how far we can unwind. There we go. Why does that work? Yeah, because it's removing these on the sides here. So we can remove those and replace them with these. Because that's a big issue that we're facing across. I want to make this smaller because it's kind of large. There we go. Better. Much better. And it also has to be able to like split in the center to go upwards. So yeah, I think the top suspension is it really does need to be there. I think. And in the center, I think, should be a small suspension since we do have the space. I'm not sure how other people have done it before. I don't know how they do it, to be honest. I don't know how other people do leaf suspensions. I'm sure I'm probably never going to use leaf suspensions. But it's cool to have it here as a decision. I'm sure nobody uses leaf suspensions in the front. Because if it is, it's going to be an issue. I'm going to have an issue. But it works. It's the most complex here, yes. Because there's quite a bit. I didn't take a lot of thinking though. Because all it does is really just bend the center. That's about it. And the more weight, I want to save this first before I continue speaking. Save this. Save as. Leaf spring. What was I gonna say? All it's doing is bending in the center. Let me think for a sec. I was gonna do something. All it's really doing is bending in the center, so it's... and nobody's gonna use this. Returning, are they? Actually, I think I remember. No, I don't. So... I theoretically could make this thinner. Theoretically. If this system was already attached here. Right. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. See how much weight this thing could handle. Ah, there we go. They're kind of weak. Alright. I think it could be more efficient, yeah. Like... Let's see. So if I move this whole I'm gonna delete this. Move this whole thing up. And delete this. Does that work? I mean, it works. Gotta delete all this first. But I think I found myself something better. It's much thinner, but it definitely does not have the strength it did before. Why? Leverage? Oh my. Yeah, I'm gonna up the strength for these. First. Strength. Or the strength not on. 2. No, we're gonna have it at 3. 3 strength. There we go. It's still bending. Oh my. Maybe I shouldn't use it as suspension right now? Oh no. Beautiful though. Just a bunch of hinges though. I could indeed make this smaller. I could delete a couple parts, but I don't feel the need to, because I think I'm pretty okay. I think I could use, if I really wanted to, I could remove these two and just have hinge on hinge interaction. Hinge on hinge interaction. And these could just be... Oops. 2x1s. You know? I am pretty fast, so with the blocks. I think that's fine. That doesn't cause an issue. But because it's hinges, I can see the wheel twist. If you zoom in carefully, you can see the actual twist, which is kind of funny. I also like how the front end is just bouncing around like crazy. Now I don't think the wheels need to be that strong. But this is leaf spring small version, I guess I can call this. Save as leaf spring SMMO small. I want to see how people do. Trailmakers. Half leaf spring. I mean, yeah, that would be true. Leaf spring. Leaf spring, leaf spring, leaf spring. Funny. Leaf spring suspension. Oh, that image is awful. That's probably because it's from a video. This is double wishbone. Oh, they use suspension here with a hinge. And then, what is that? A helicopter engine? So, if you want to do suspension, make it thinner, I guess you could do that. They also seem to have already made it angled, instead of making it powered, like mine. That could be another thing. I just never figured out how to do it, because I've just done it flat. What happened to the leaf spring? Why do these links always bring me to other posts? You know? Yeah, this was the one I was looking at. And come on. Where'd it go? That's it. And it brings me to this one. I don't like that. I don't like how Reddit does that. Okay. So, seems like I'm the only one that made a decently small one. Maybe. Truck chassis. Oh, it's home slice. Nice. First of the day. No suspension. Let's see how he does this. Okay, that's interesting.
But you connect this right.
Oh. So it's kind of like trailing suspension, but because they're here, there's some things here. They can go up and they can go backwards. And this, because it'll pull itself upwards, it can also go inwards, sort of. So it'll protect from frontwards damage. My. This man's a genius.
Alright, so now we can kind of just mess around with this.
Yeah, see?
Test it out. If you already
This
made
back
it
here is leaf spring.
and now this, and then...
I mean, it's slightly larger than mine because he
now
has
we can
these
get
two
a,
other suspension pieces.
Cube bubble, we'll put it right here.
Well, let me
And
pause
of
it
course
for you
make
guys.
sure it's...
As you can see, it's leaf spring. The back is leaf spring because it has the same setup as mine. Kind of. See? Hinge. Hinge. This one's just here because it is. To help it, because it's going inwards, it kind of bends slightly. Without it, it just kind of creeps out. He has suspension here. That's probably what he's replacing this with. He also seems to be doing
this,
something.
2T is going to be like this, and then get a tube one by one there, connect all that, and then put a...
Oh, that's his axle.
Connect all this together.
I just attached them to the wheel.
And then I'll go ahead and toss a...
We're both learning from YouTube videos now.
Or two, actually.
Congratulations. Come here to watch me do things.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of weight,
people doing
test it out. If you already
The suspension is really soft.
So, I mean, if you've already made it this far, you can go ahead and just take...
Okay. Go to this video if you want to learn how to make a truck chassis by Home Slice. Thank you for teaching me something. Maybe I taught you something today. Maybe. So, for the most part, I think this works. Because it has no suspension here, I think I can make that change. His hadn't had an axle, but mine doesn't, since they're completely independent from each other. So mine isn't as accurate. But I don't think it needs to be accurate, does it? But if you did want to make it accurate, then just move this down a bit and then connect it together, right? I kind of want to check if that still works. Suspension's working. So it's working just fine with the suspension. I guess I can save this as, since it does need that. So, move these down. And then connect them via pipe. Tube T. And then... Tube T and then a double T. The double tube here. Right? Now it's got true axle. So axle a little bit more axle-like. I'm not sure what you would need an axle for on a real truck, other than, for driving it. But because it's Trailmakers, you wouldn't really need an axle. But for this one, I can see where you could place an axle. it's not all that hard. You just place it underneath. It does increase the height though, but I think in this sense, I think it works fine. It is very bouncy in the back though, but I think it's also because the front end doesn't have any good suspension, so it's just causing the back end to need to bounce a little bit more. Save itself from a little more weight. It keeps getting caught on things. This is a good polished map though, to be honest. I rarely got caught on any of the rocks on this map with real good, better suspension. So as you can see, it works perfectly fine. The axle and everything. And it does bottom out though, with this much weight. I don't think you're gonna have this much weight, especially when it's gonna be shared across multiple of them. Let's see. Click on mirror mode. No! Mirror mode, why'd you do that? Okay. So we're gonna delete these, remove these, delete that. Then mirror mode back on, because I want to do something here. Is I'm gonna copy that, except for the pipe, because now there's no hole down the center. But now place this here. Attach this like this. Alright, the front has no weight. Maybe I should place this a little bit more here. I think that's nice. Looks good. Looks great. It's like the best suspension I've ever used. Maybe I should move the weight a little further forward. Why doesn't it turn? Oh, it's rock, that's why. The rock. It works though. It's nice. It's good. I don't see a problem with it. I love it. It's great. You should use it too on your truck builds. I don't think I've seen many people make anything smaller than this, really. Let me show you guys a truck that... Right, I didn't download any built on this account. A truck. Truck. A Baja truck. Missile truck. Hirochi HT55 dump truck. Oh, they use leaf spring on the front too. Man, okay, so by a 2 to 3 missile player truck by Discotech. No, keep my... Okay. Good, go away now. So... come on. This is why we have mods on. Hopefully it doesn't crash my computer. It's backwards. No, keep my blocks. So... yeah, it's not as big. All I have to do is shrink it. So... compared to the missile truck here, it's not that much bigger. Maybe it's a little longer, because of the wheels. Maybe the wheelbase is a little longer than Discotheque's. And it is definitely wider than Discotheque's truck here. As you can see, it's a couple locks wider. But I think with how it looks, all I have to do is shrink it side to side, and the up and down motion will be fine. I don't think I need to change that much. Discotheque's build looks really good though. Oh, man. Let's see, what else? I don't think the leaf spring can be changed that much. But because it's already behind the wheels, I don't think I need to change that much of things. Since normally truck wheels don't show on the sides, right? Unless you're like hauling empty stuff. Unless you're hauling like goods and stuff, which most trucks are for. But like, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't see any issues here. So I don't really need this, really. So I guess I'll go back into the workshop and undownload it. I don't know. I just don't like clouding up the workshop thingy. How do I get? Because I've already had an issue with Steam. Not Steam. Had an issue with Xbox doing that. So, that's it, I guess. For the most part. Unless you want to see me build anything else. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're not doing this today. But that's it for most of the suspensions. Let me hand them all out first. I guess I'll leave this. So we got leaf springs small, leaf spring large, trailing arm in today's video, double wishbone, McPhearson Strut suspension, and single axle. There probably is more, but I can't guarantee that, so yeah. That's it for today's video on... That's it for today's half of the video on suspensions. We got leaf spring large, trailing arm, double wishbone, McPhearson strut, and single axle. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this two-halved episode of learning how to do suspensions. I also learned how to do suspension with you guys. As you can see, I struggled quite a bit with it. So, you and I both learned something. There probably is a front and back version of the leaf spring. I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah, comment down below what I should do with each one of these vehicles. Because I can make a cabin for these. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment any suggestions. You can do that whether you are on either you can comment down below if you are on your phone, iPad, or computer. If you're on your TV, go ahead and pull out your mobile device and comment down below any suggestions you like. Please do that. I know that a lot of you are on TV and can't comment because of that. But comment down below what suggestions you guys would like to build. Like, I know the leaf spring can be like a truck. I could probably make that into a truck on my own time. Or on a video, I'm sure. This can be a monster truck or a trophy truck. double wishbone can just be a car, another car, and another car. But, you guys leave some suggestions for types of cars that I should make for these. Because these new suspensions just gave me a bunch of new opportunities for building stuff. Yeah, that's it. See y'all.